Hey, my name's Josh Anderson with BagpipeMaster.com. Before we get started, just keep in mind you can get your own copy of the sheet music at BagpipeMaster.com. It's totally free. This song, The Green Hill of Tyrol, it's definitely a popular one to play at Highland Games if you've ever been to any of those. And when they combine all the different bands and pipers together, they do mass bands. And this is definitely one you'll have to know if you want to participate in that. So let's jump right into the Green Hills. First off, we start, actually let me hum it. It starts out dun da bum ba da dum ba bra dee dee da. Now to play this, the grip first we play on coming from a B, we drop down to the low G, play a D grace note on the low G. Bum ba 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 bum. Here we play the C doubling on the C, da da dum. And the C doubling just consists of a G grace note on the C, D grace note on the C, and then once we play the C, we drop down to the low A and play an E grace note on the low A. Here we have a throw on D, and to play the throw on D, we drop down to the low G, D grace note on C, back to the D. Here we have an E doubling, G grace note on E, F grace note on E, and they strike in between these two E notes, and they strike down to the low A, and then up to the F. Bum ba brum ba da dum ba bra dee dee da. Alright, playing the first two measures. I just want to actually focus on some of the difficult movements, so like the grip from the side. You can see to play a grip, we start on the B, and to play the grip we go down to the low G, play a D grace note on the G, and then go up to the C. And then the next movement is that C doubling, where we play a G grace note and a D grace note on the C. And then from the C, we drop down to the low A and play an E grace note. The next measure, as we're playing the C, we go up to a throw on D on the D from the side. But more up to speed, it'll sound like this. Then we play the E doubling, which is a G grace note on the E, F grace note on the E. And then lastly, we play a strike in between those E notes. And we strike by dropping the E finger to the low A, and we keep our pinky finger up. And that's it. Let me play through those two measures with the metronome. 1, 2. These measures, we have a doubling on the C, a doubling on the E, a grip, doubling, low G grace note. So just to hum through it, da 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 dee dee da da bra da dee dee da dum. So here we have the doubling, which is a G grace note on the C, D grace note on the C. We have a G grace note for this doubling, G grace note on the E, F grace note on the E. The grip, remember we already played a grip over here, but once again we drop down to the low G, D grace note on low G. This doubling should look very familiar, we've already played it twice, here and here. It's an E doubling where we play a G grace note on the E, F grace note on the E. And this little guy, as we're going down, you'll notice we drop down to the low G, so everything's covered, and then we pop up to the A. And this is a very short note. It's a grace note, so it's da, bum, ba, bum. Very small amount of time given to that. C doubling on the C. We play that G grace note and a D grace note. Then we go up to the F, E doubling on the E, and that E doubling we simply play a G grace note as we go to the E, and then an F grace note on the E. Go down the scale to the grip. You'll see that we play a grip on the B. Once again. A little faster. Go up to the F, and then from the F to the E, we once again play an E doubling. Going down, we go from the C down to the low A, but we actually have a G grace note in there. A little slower. And let's play through those two measures. 1, 2. Alright, good news. These two measures are the exact same as the previous line's first two measures. So just to kind of hum through it and refamiliarize ourselves. Bum ba dum ba da dum ba da dee dee da. Exact same. 1, 2. Alright, this measure is also the same as the previous line measure, and a lot of this looks the same until we get to the very end, and it slightly differs here. So, da 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 dee da dum ba da da dum. So that's where it gets different here. Is we play the grip, we go drop down to low G, then A, play a C doubling, go down to the low G, then A. So just some very slight variations here. Let's go and play that. Okay, here we start with the C doubling, which once again is just a G grace note on the C and a D grace note on the C. A little faster. Pop up to the F. E doubling from the F to the E. We've done this before, so it should be review. And then from the C, and this time we go to the B. So that should be a review from the previous line. Then we play a grip. Play the G and then the A. See, there's a very quick low G there. Then we play the C doubling. That was just a G and a D grace note on the C. And then once again, as we're going down, we play a G grace note and then the A. Let me play those two measures. 1, 2. Third line, C doubling, starts on the C. Da da dee da 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 dee dee. So here, pretty easy, a C doubling. We've done this before. Just a G grace note on the C, D grace note on the C. Da da dee da da. The high A doubling, we just take the A, strike it with the thumb to create a high G, back to the A, and then we strike again as we play this little G strike there. Da 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 da. This guy is an F grace note, So we go to the F, up to the G. And we're just momentarily on the F. It's very, very small amount of time given. Da and da. And then F doubling. Those are the easiest. It's just 2 G grace notes. Dun dun. And then a strike on the E here. If you look, we already did a strike on the E in the previous line. But that, we just take the E finger, drop it, which causes us to go to low A, and then back up to E. Okay, here we have a C doubling. Once again, that's just a C, or a G grace note on the C, and then a D grace note on the C. And then as we go up to the A, we play an A doubling. From the side, you can see that's just an A with a strike and an A. Then we strike it again. And then we play an F to the G. See, there's a very small F in there. And then as we go down, on the F, we play an F doubling. And the F doubling, we play a G grace note, and then another G grace note. And then we strike the E's by dropping the E finger to the low A, and then pop back up to the E. Let's play those. 1, 2. Just to hum through these two measures. Dee da dee dee da 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 da. So some of the movements that we need to pay attention to are the F or the E doubling, G grace note on the E, F grace note on the E. This is a strike, and it's basically just a G grace note on the D with a strike to the C and back to the D. And then we go up and then back down to the D with the D doubling, which is a G and an E grace note on the D. And then the grip, we've played plenty of grips in this, but once again we drop down to the low G with a D grace note on the low G and back to the C. Alright, here I just want to focus mostly on the doublings. We have an E doubling in here. That should be review. So we go dee da dee dee, and that's the E doubling where we play a G grace note and a E grace note, or I'm sorry, an F grace note. Once again. And then we drop down to the G or to the D, and we play a G grace note and strike it by dropping the D finger to the C and then popping back up. A little faster. A little faster. So that's the strike on the D. And then we go back up. And then go back down to the D with a D doubling. In the D doubling, we play a G grace note and an E grace note on the D. Drop down to the C and play a grip. In the grip, we just go to low G, D grace note on the low G, and then up to the C. Let's play through those two measures. 1, 2. Okay, some more good news. This line, the first two measures, are exactly the same as these two measures. Da da dee da 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 dee dee. 1, 2. Alright, let me just hum through these last two measures. Dee da dee dee da 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 dee dee. So just to point out a few things, we have an E doubling, G grace note on the E, F grace note on the E. We strike by dropping our E finger down to the low A, and then lift the E finger to go back to the E. Here we have a throw on D, and to play the throw on D, we've done that before, but we just drop down to the low G, D grace note on C, back to the D, E doubling, and then a strike on the E. Focusing on these last two measures, we have an E doubling, which once again that's just a G grace note and F grace note on the E. We strike the E's. Then we go to the D down to the C. Play a throw on D. And from the side you can see that throw on D. We're starting on the C, that's the note prior. And to play the throw on D we drop to the low G. A little faster. Faster. Last movement we have an E doubling on the E, and then we strike the E. Let's play those two measures. 1, 2. Alright, let's play through the entire tune. And we'll play through the whole thing, but I'm not going to repeat it, but usually you would follow the repeats. 1, 2. Alright, there it is. The Green Hills of Tyrol. If you're like most bagpipers, beginning bagpipers, this tune will feel advanced. So don't get overwhelmed, hang in there. Check out some of the resources I've got on my website, bagpipemaster.com. I've got free tutorials. I also have an ebook that is just packed full of different tips and exercises to help you really master what you need for these tunes. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and best of luck on your bagpipe journey.